I'll address them separately. The first one, which I'm fond of mentioning, which is for people that are just want something that really should make you scratch your head when it comes to NASA, which is the Orion trial by fire video, which is on the NASA website right now. I mean, you can go there. It's on nasa.gov. Just look up Orion trial by fire on any search engine. You will find it. And it was released in October of 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And it's got, I think it's Kelly Smith is his name, young guy. And he's out there and he's going into, this was made for television. This is like an 8-minute segment. You could introduce some Nova or, any of Neil deGrasse Tyson shows where they talk about, they're very specific about the Van Allen radiation belts. And if anyone doesn't know what the Orion project is, it's the Mars mission. So when I say Orion, just immediately think the Mars mission. But they can't send anybody through the Van Allen belt until they solve the radiation problem. And the first time I saw that, I was just incensed. I was like, "What are you kidding? You solved this problem back in the 60s." In fact, I brought this up to when the guy claimed he was a scientist during a debate a few months ago, and because I love throwing at people, I say, "Okay." This is kind of a side note. I said, "Look, what happens? Tell me how we got through the Van Allen radiation belts during the Apollo mission. Because we sent supposedly 8, 9 supposedly didn't ever leave orbit. And then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, right? That's that's round trips, right, through the Van Allen belt. What shielding did you use in the capsule to go through it? Because you have to use it's got to be a common metal. It's either going to be lead or gold. And they're both really, really heavy, as most people don't know that gold is twice as heavy as lead, because nobody has that much gold. But like a gold bar, super, super heavy. And no one can answer that question. In fact, Van Allen himself, which is an interesting thing if you want to read up on it, he was the one that announced the belt in 1959 and said, "Oh yeah, super dangerous, can't go through it. People will die if you try to go through it." And yet he had to revise that statement several years later when Kennedy was all hot and heavy about sending people to the moon, because then you have to go through it. But they didn't. So they made that statement and they didn't realize, they didn't know enough about radiation to figure out, it's like, well, you guys just basically said that we have to encase this sucker in lead to get through it, but you can't encase the top of a rocket in lead. It throws off everything. It's you're putting an anchor on the top of a rocket. That's not. There's no way that's going to work. And people say, "No, we fire bullets out all the time." I go, "Yeah, that's different though. Bullets is not the same as a rocket." So no one can answer that question. But Van Allen's statement was, "Well, we can get through it if we fly really, really fast." It's like, really? That's your answer? That's the entire answer? It's like, gun it, just step on the gas, and that's how you're going to save the astronauts from dying, is fly. And even now, I think our best speed, supposedly, if you believe anything NASA says, is under 20,000 miles an hour. And if the bands extend out to 60,000 miles, that's 3 hours each way that you're going through these things. And it's like, fine, even if I believed you, and you said, okay, fine, you floor it and you get through, you leave the Earth's orbit and you get to the moon. What exactly are you doing when you're coming back? Because that's a really small nozzle when you're coming back, and you're slowing down on top of it because you got to get home, and you get a break for Earth's gravity. I mean, you're spending a lot more time on the Van Allen belts. No astronauts died. Nobody got radiation poisoning. Nobody got any weird forms of cancer. And I have to say weird forms now because there was a story that came out, not even a month ago, saying why they released this, 50 years after the fact. Well, I know full well, but they said, "Oh yeah, the astronauts in Apollo got more heart disease because of cosmic radiation." And they did a study on 7 of them supposedly, and it's like, really, why now? Why are you bringing this up now? It's because the radiation question cannot be answered. They don't know. That's one of the big reasons why any scientist, we're having a hard time getting any scientist to come up